news. Yeah. Nick Ferrari and Sonia Sodha are here to talk through today's top stories.
Good morning.
Good morning to you both.
Aren't his hands young?
Yeah, indeed. Look at those. Here we go.
Oh, yeah, you have got young hands.
You look like you've already had Phil, isn't it?
Like freshly made sausages. Look at them.
What a compliment.
It's a man thing.
Which is a good royal link, actually, because, of course, Prince Charles always talks about his sausage-like fingers, which leads us into the first conversation.
Princess of Wales photographed for the first time. Nick, can you give us a bit of an update on this?
Absolutely,
and what's
I
happening?
can.
Because I know the UK news have not showed any pictures, but America and other countries have decided to.
Well, this is a debating point. Photographs for the first time since surgery in December, taken and published on gossip sites in the US and Australia without approval from the Kensington Palace. The princess and family had asked for privacy, and the British media obviously are observing that. They're, with respect, not the most stunning pictures, so obviously we won't show them, but she's wearing sunglasses in the front seat of her car. It would appear her mother, Carol, is driving the car, and the location geographically would seem to indicate that maybe they're coming back from the school run. Should they have run those pictures is the question. Look, listen, if I'm in the US or Australia, I'm probably going to run them. This now speaks to the most extraordinary sensitivity as there is around the members of the royal family. This is, I have to say, this is public ground. If it was in her back garden, if it was in a surgery, if she was going into a hospital, absolutely not. I just question how far this is all going. All they are is showing a young woman sitting by her mother in the front seat of a car, probably driving back from having done the school run. I understand why the media's not running them, but I just wonder how far this sensitivity goes.
Sonia, do you think that the UK media have done the right thing not to run these pictures, or would you, in that position, would you have run them?
I do think they've done the right thing. I think the palace have been quite clear with us. They told us about the fact that she had surgery back in January. It's clearly pretty major because she was... the surgery was in December, but it was major because she didn't come out of hospital until, I think it was the 3rd week January. We've been told she's not doing any public duties until after Easter. You know, people have surgery. They need time off work to recover. I think that's what's happened here. I think the thing that's made it tricky for the palace to handle is that there's been huge speculation around, you know, why has it taken her so long? Why has she still not been seen in public? That has obviously partly been fuelled as well by the news about the King's health and the fact that he's got cancer, the fact that the Prince of Wales, her husband, had to pull out very, very last minute at a very high-profile memorial service of his godfather at which he was due to speak. So there has been a huge amount of speculation on social media about what's actually going on. Is it worse than we think, etc.? But I sort of think, I just think you have to give the palace the benefit of the doubt. And I think when people are sick, you know, and she's not an heir to the throne. She's not in the direct line of the succession.
She's a human being. Yeah, she's a human being recovering.
Well, one day with the Queen. I mean, let's accept it.
Yeah.
So, look, surely it's context here, Sonia. I say again, if it was taken, if she was in a position of distress, if she was entering a clinic, of course you don't run their picture. The royal family exists because we have this fixation about them, OK? If there wasn't, they would be out of business. They know that as well. And I think all of us around this table say we know they work damn hard and we're pretty lucky to have them. I don't see what offence is caused by seeing a picture of a young woman being driven by her mother. I just don't get it. And if we don't maintain that level of interest, ultimately there will be a degree of censorship, and I think we'll go against it.
It's like, when's it OK and when's it not OK to show them?
Yeah.
If only Uncle Gary, our Uncle Gary, was as camera shy. He entered the Big Brother house last night. Talk to me about this fella. I know nothing about him, bar what I saw last night, and my eyebrow was through the roof.
Well, he's got himself into some trouble in the past, I think it's fair to say, by talking quite loosely about his relationship to Kate, to the royal family, etc. But then I think there was a feeling in the royal family that he sort of kind of went quiet for quite a long period. So, you know, maybe it was a bit more under control. But he's now going into celebrity... Well, he's just gone in last night to Celebrity Big Brother. Now, clearly, the only reason why the producers of Celebrity Big Brother are interested in him, you know, it's not for his wit necessarily. It's because he is the uncle of, as Nick, you just said, somebody who's going to be our future queen. And I kind of feel really sorry for Kate, actually, in all of this, because no one wants their uncle, when they're in the public limelight so much, to be going into a programme where, you know, you're literally, the cameras are on you, the mics are on you 24/7. He's saying that he's going to be going in, saying only nice things about, you know, his niece and the royal family. But, I mean, when you're under that kind of scrutiny, you can slip up. He's definitely made comments about Harry and Meghan in the past. The risks of this, I think, are just so great that he says something that blows up into a massive story. It's like, why are you doing it? Why?
Also, a checkered past, and when you look at that checkered past, you have to question whether you should be allowed to go into a show like this.
Sensational booking by the producers.
Yes.
Unfortunately, because of the hours I keep, I fell asleep before he arrived. I do apologize. But he was the reason, I'm not going to lie, he was the reason that I tuned in, and I think the numbers will be great. Yes, he said he's behaved in some interesting ways in the past, and he said some things that probably the royal family would be rather nervous about. I would imagine, and one reads that, Kate's mother tried to almost call it to a halt and tried to persuade her brother, the uncle, not to go in. Clearly, she's not been successful. Look, the family's got enough issues as it is at the moment without this happening. Let's just hope. I have no experience of this house. I would imagine it's incredibly intense, the most bizarre, dystopian kind of life that you lead. And you're going to say things that you regret because it's like being in an alternative universe, isn't it?
Oh, you're the one who can tell us all about it, Josie.
I absolutely loved it. Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, I found it a lot easier than the jungle. But what I will say is, are they close? Do they hang out a lot?
Not that close.
They're not that
close enough. He's going to tell us stories, isn't he, about how she used to come and play in the garden when she was a little girl and done. But, I mean, he's far closer than anybody else who's on the telly. You get me anyone else, at least he can say that he's in the family, but I don't think they're that close, but we shall find out.
We'll find out, yeah.
Oh, it just feels...
It's great, isn't it?
Well, maybe the fact it feels so awkward is why it's going to make such good television sound.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as Nick says, people will be tuning in to find out what he says. I just sort of think, I mean, this is a tricky thing, isn't it, about being a celebrity or being in the royal family. You can't control what your family members do, and I bet sometimes they wish they could.
Is he a celeb?
He's not a celeb, but if you... Yeah.
Will be.
It will be now.
Hey, everyone has an Uncle Gary, right? Everybody has an Uncle Gary. Well, you know.
Not when you reach my age. They've all gone, unfortunately. All my Uncle Garys have gone.